Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. Ho, ho, ho.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's 109 days until Christmas Eve, 2024. Well, thank you all for being here today. We're going to try to put our head down and talk about Star Wars and try to stay away from most of the craziness out there in the world. You know, I was just listening in on Den of Nerds live stream, listening to Josh. And he's not wrong on most of what he was talking about today. Spot on. So you guys may or may not know this channel was going to start off as Santa Brian, Bryan, Santa Brian. And Josh, back in the day, Josh called me on the cell phone, and we chatted for a while. And he said, "Brian, you're missing a huge opportunity here. What you need to be is Star Wars Santa." It's like easy peasy. So therein lies how the channel got its name and how we got launched. And many of you know Baymax, who is here in our chat very often. He helped start our Discord. He does a lot of my my thumbnails. You guys, it's a great community. And when Star Wars fans are behaving themselves, we can be an absolutely wonderful, absolutely fantastic community. But boy, sometimes the crazy just takes over, and things are what they are. So we're going to try to stay out of all of that. And I see my friend Yachty in the chat. We have some exciting things to talk about when it comes to things that are coming from Hasbro. Yachty, I don't know if you guys know, she does some photography, some Star Wars like Black Series figure photography, and she's brilliant. She's so good. Let me see. I think she has sent me a couple of her calendars, and I think I've got one right here that I can reach. Oh, maybe not. Daggone it. No, I got them put away in the drawer over there. Sorry about that. But Yachty is fantastic. We've got some Black Series figures that are coming. We've got some vintage collection figures that are coming. And there's a big Hasbro event coming a little bit later this month where we'll get some more updates and announcements. We'll cover some of that here today because some of it is relevant for right now. I've got some figures that are in the mail. They're on their way. Oh, they're going their way. I should have them in the next day or two. And certainly there's some that are coming next week that I have been championing forever. So you guys, do me a favor if you can. You know, just like, subscribe to the channel. We set the chat here to be subscribers only. That keeps the bots out. That keeps all the nonsense out. And that's the only reason I put the subscribers only. It just helps keep the noise away, and our mods don't have to be looking for those crazy things that come in. So subscribe to the channel. It does a lot of good. And as Jedi Mike put, Patreon. Patreon is the #1 way to support this channel. We have channel memberships here, and we have lots of things for our channel members that we do on a monthly basis, on a regular basis. But channel memberships here or patron support, that's the best way to do it. So if you guys wouldn't mind going over to Patreon, checking us out for as little as $1 a month, just $1 a month, it goes a tremendous way to helping the channel and helps us do what we're doing. And I try to provide all the value that I can there in this super chat functionality. It's patron exclusive for $1. If you submit a question or a topic in that, you'll see there's pinned messages, and you go in there and you submit a question or you submit a topic. I'll review them and include it in a live stream, assuming that it is appropriate for such. So we'll do that as well. And I've been recording things. I just did an interview last week with John Justice. He's an author. He's also the host of a talk show in Minnesota, and he does a podcast that's My Nerd World. And his podcast, he covers all kinds of nerdy stuff, Star Wars and you name it. So I did an interview with John Justice last week, and you can find that interview on on Patreon. So Chillmonger says, I hear birds. I have a new family member. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hold on. You guys want to see her? Here we go. Come here. Come here. Come on. Step up. Step up. Come on. Come on over. Come say hi to everybody. Right? They hear you. If you're going to make noise, you're going to make noise. They want to see you too. This is Peanut. She's an African gray. She's about 16 years old. She has lots of things that she can say. And I don't know if she'll say anything here, but she has a little bit of a genetic mutation. It's called a red factor. And the red factor turns the tips of some of her feathers red, pink. So this is Peanut. Peanut's over there making all kinds of noise. And can you say hi? You know, you're not going to say hello? She does a really cute. She's only been with us for a few days. We picked her up last Saturday. So she's still getting comfortable here. And she's still learning all about this new place and this new family. Huh. She's a good girl. Yeah. You want scratches? No scratches. She says, no, thank you. So there you go. Yeah. We got her from a shelter here in Ohio, a rescue, and up near Cleveland, Ohio. We went up there last Saturday and picked her up. So that's this is Peanut, and again, she's 16 years old, African gray, and she's learned all kinds of. She can say all kinds of things. Sometimes she does. I think if I do something here, we'll leave her here to come visit. Now you behave yourself. Right? We'll leave her there. Maybe she'll talk for you guys during the stream. So there you go. So Lay, we're going to talk about some Star Wars. You know what? She's going to be a distraction. Are you going to be a distraction? You want to go back? Huh? All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to take her back over. Here we go. All right. Come on, Peanut. All right. You got to step up. There you go. Back you go. All right. There we go. All right. So there you guys go. You got to meet the new member of the family. And I saw that somebody else has a who wants likes? Teacher, this is the way. We've been trying to teach her a few things. I'm sure that as she gets comfortable here, she'll start to pick up new phrases from me because she spends all day. Peanut. Well, she already had the name Peanut, and she already says, I'm Peanut. So she knows her name. We're not going to change her name. And all of our animals have P names. So we have Paisley and Piper. Those are our two dogs. We've got Peanut, and Pip. Pip is another bird that we have here. She's upstairs, and she's my wife's bird. She is a Quaker parrot. So there's that. And I saw somebody else has an African gray. Seth Nico. Seth also has an African gray. Really, really smart birds, and we're happy to have her here. Okay. Fitz says, Peanut says, I have unlimited power. She might. We'll see what she learns as she's here. Yeah, she's now you guys got her all excited. She got to be on stream, and she's a famous bird now. So there you go. Seth says, I'll post a picture in Discord after. Thank you, Seth. And you can find pictures of Peanut in our Discord as well on the Star Wars Santa channel. So you guys do all the things. Do all the things. Let's talk about Star Wars. And there's some news here to share. And we're going to start. Sounds like I'm in the forest back home. It probably sounds a lot more like Puerto Rico than it does Florida. There you go. All right. So let's get into some of the news, and we'll talk about some things. And one of the topics here, and this is off of my friend Bespin Bulletin's website, and it says Ahsoka star reveals season 2 will be filming by this time next year. Now, if you guys have been hanging out with me, you know that we've already kind of outlined how all this is going. We've got Skeleton Crew coming up here. We'll talk about Skeleton Crew in a moment. Skeleton Crew, and then the 2024, 2025. We have just Andor season 2. That's the only live action series for 2025, according to Bespin's article and the actual interview he got from another source. It was from Dragon Con. Natasha, the actress that plays Sabine Wren, revealed she's unable to attend next summer due to the second season of Ahsoka being in production at that point. Means by August 25, the second season will be filming. We don't know when exactly it starts, but certainly this time next year, production is supposed to be happening. If that's the case, then the next season of Ahsoka will not be in 2025. It will be in 2026, which we have already said, right? 2024, we already had the Acolyte, and we get Skeleton Crew. 2025, we get Andor season 2. 2026 will be Ahsoka season 2. Now, the question there, which bears some discussion, and I heard this on a guy who likes Star Wars. Mike, his channel. In fact, he's got a video releasing here in about 45 minutes. Mike was somebody asked him, do you think there'll be a season 3 of Ahsoka? And he speculated that depends on if it's released before or after the movie, the Mando Grogu movie, which we're also expecting in 2026. But remember, there's Dave's movie that comes after that. And Dave hasn't even started writing it. And Dave's movie is supposed to be the culmination, the joining movie of all the Mandoverse content. It'll include Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian, all of those things, right? The Filoni-verse, as Jedi might put. All of those are supposed to come together in Dave's movie. That'll certainly be after 2026. So will there be an Ahsoka season 3? I think it depends. There's another story out there about several live action Star Wars series in the works, but yet to be announced. And what are those going to be, and where are they going to be placed? So those are going to be, we don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about them. I can't give you any insight. I have speculated. I speculated yesterday as well that might be something happening over in Peridia. which could be a spin-off from Ahsoka season 2, right? They're on Peridia right now. We're going to come back to it in just a moment. But if those live action series, some of them, one of them, anything, could be set in Peridia, perhaps well before Ahsoka season 1, right? They get there, and remember, they had this comment in the show how there used to be a vast empire, right? A vast empire of these witches on Peridia, and now primarily it's in demolished, right? It's abandoned. All of these, the planet is really kind of taking back over. And what if we went back to the height of that empire, when things were going on and the witches on Peridia were in their height, or even maybe before that? And we already saw some iconography in the remains of the Zepho. The Zepho come from expanded universe. We're not going to get too deep into all of that, but the Zepho were in some of the iconography that were there, and it could go back to maybe before that empire started. The Zepho having something to do. We've speculated that'd be a good way to bring in the Yuzan Vong or something like that. Do it all over on Peridia. You're not tied into the lore, the canon that's been established in the Star Wars universe that we know. However, there's a new universe far, far away from the one universe, the Star Wars universe, if we will, where there could be a host of planets with hosts of cultures and civilizations that all exist over there. Chillmonger, the Book of Balin's Skull. Perhaps. So it could be anything along those lines. So let's find out what's going to happen there. It could be tremendous. And Yadi, we're going to come back to this. There's a big gap happening at the moment. So the story that is kind of made its way this week, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when I was talking with Jason Ward. We talked about it again with Bespin Bulletin, and I've talked about it again after that. Hey, Sabersmith, hope you're well. Thank you so much. I'm doing quite well, and hope all is well with you as well. But I talked about it again last week. This is not news that Lucasfilm is slowing down production of live action Disney Plus content for Star Wars to one project a year. Now, this was primarily just math, right? You can figure it out yourselves. If we've got Andor season 2 in 2025 and Ahsoka in 2026. Let's see, Matt, one and one. One a year, and until they announce that there's maybe other projects in the works and that those are going to happen, then maybe that'll be the case. But right now, that's all we know of. So the story is really like water is wet, right? We already knew that. Yeah, and Sabersmith says, I feel like this was happening way before the Acolyte. Yes, there were already, let's say that things went swimmingly well with the Acolyte, that they were just over the moon, that viewers were everywhere. We had all kinds of support. Fan reaction was just fantastic. There were none of the drama that we have, and they couldn't wait to get a Acolyte season 2. Let's just pretend. If that were the case, when would that be? When would it be? Like they said that they supposedly had a writer's room already kind of assembled. Yeah. Peanuts is competing with me. Every time I start talking, it gets her excited, and she has things to say. I don't know how much of it you guys can hear, but yeah, she's going on. So if you were just to do the math, and the writer's room was already assembled and they're just, powering forward with season 2, when would be the first time? When would be the first? It'd be like 2026 at best, alongside with Ahsoka season 2. Peanut, you're being loud. Right? So one show a year. After that, then we start to talk about what are we going to get with animation, right? There is a big gap happening now in live action. And what are we going to get for animation? I'm aware of one series already that they could announce today. They could announce today and say, airing September 15th. I didn't even look at the calendar. Pick a Tuesday or Wednesday in September and say, and start, right away. They could do that whenever they want. The show is ready. All they have to do is drop it. So they could put advertising out today, then and have that out before the end of the month. That's one animated show. I'm aware of another animated show out there, but I don't know how far it is. And then there's all the speculation. What about Visions season 2 or 3? Visions season 3. What about that? Yeah, I don't know when that will be. Eli Martin says, is the animated not movie you were talking about called The Last Clones? Not a question. Please don't answer. Week. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Eli. Let me take a drink. I don't have tea in here, but there's some tea. This is my usual Mio energy. So we'll just do that. Take a sip of the tea. By the way, I still need that copium mug, right? We talked about how I need a copium mug. How awesome would it be to have a little shot glass of copium you could take whenever something happened that you just have to deal with? I would love that. So Skeleton Crew is still happening this year, and next year, it may. Okay, so technically, Yachty, yeah, I think you make a good point. We had Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew is a bridge 24-25. So you get part of Skeleton Crew in 2024, part in 2025, and then you get Andor season 2 in 2025. So what you say, 1.5 in 2024, 1.5 in 2025, and then 1 in 2026, or maybe 1.5 in 2026. I don't know. So we'll find out. We do know there's a focus coming to animated, and yeah, the chirp in the background. It's not battery related. No, she does several calls that are that sound like an alarm clock or that kind of thing. And right now she's just being obnoxious. She's being obnoxious. Yeah. You're being bad. Being really, really loud. Yeah, see? So Ahsoka season 2 will be filming next year. Then we have some other news, right? Other news is, let me just go back to Bespin's homepage here. And Ubisoft share prices fall. Following the release of Star Wars Outlaws, sales reported lower than expected. And look, this is one thing that Bespin very much excels at: the maths. Bespin loves the maths, and if you look at the share prices, he does a really good job of explaining how this isn't the sky is falling kind of thing that you see in some of these channels. However, it's not good for Ubisoft, and we're going to talk about it more in just a moment. But it says here, Outlaws released last week, the more premium options on the 27th, and the standard on the 30th. So it's been out for just a week, just over a week. And oh, that's a really good idea. I need to change the background to Yavin so that with Peanut, chirping and stuff in the background, it sound more natural. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. It's been out for a week. It says, following the launch of the title, it's being reported Ubisoft has taken the hit with the company share price falling 12.5%, a near 10-year low. Nick, hello. It says Reuters spoke with JP Morgan analyst Daniel Kervin, shared Star Wars Outlaws had struggled to reach the projections made by analysts. Analysts tweaked their sales expectation by 2 million copies. Wow, that's a lot of copies at $100 a pop, or nearly 70, I think it is for the lower end. Now saying it'll reach around 5.5 million copies sold by the end of the fiscal year, March 2025. So they're saying 5.5 by the end of March 2025. Let's keep reading. It says Outlaws launched last week, mostly positive reviews. That might be a stretch, Bespin, but let's roll with it. Let's not give Bespin too hard a time. Mostly positive reviews. The title current has 76 on the Metacritic. User scores much lower, 4.9 out of 10. Outlaws had a rocky launch, releasing with a fair few unfortunate bugs. This is where we have an update from Azatru. We'll talk about Azatru's update here in just a moment. Ubisoft last week released a bug-busting patch alongside an email to some PlayStation 5 users to save a new life, blah, 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 blah. It's also being reported Star Wars Outlaws physical sales in the United Kingdom were 55% lower than that of Jedi Survivor. Okay, so not great, not great. It says, unfortunately, I think Star Wars Outlaws further epitomizes where the Star Wars franchise is at the moment. General interest is down and seemingly reflected in the latest 2 Star Wars releases. Outlaws and The Acolyte both ridiculously were forced into online culture wars. And right here is what we're talking, right? This ridiculous culture war that we're in is really, really tough. It's tough to talk about Star Wars with all the noise that's going on and the craziness out there. But let's just, it is what it is, right? It's the world we live in. And until something bigger changes, you just have to accept that. And it's something that I was talking with my friends this week about when some of the culture stuff started getting really blown up on Twitter. That, look, it's at some point, if you're Lucasfilm or your Ubisoft or your John Deere tractors, whatever that is, you have to accept that you live in the world you're in. Your customers are who they are. And maybe you need to do things that will keep your customers loyal through all this craziness. Yeah. Yeah. Precisely. Culture wars before the game even came out. Exactly, Yadi. It talks about Acolyte being canceled due to low viewership. We don't need to get back to that. Boba Fett and right. So he goes on to talk about some of the issues there. I want to take from this and then jump over to Azatru's update, because this was really good. Azatru is a fantastic content creator. It could be I saw somebody put it here as a true have been solid. As a True is the best Star Wars gaming channel. Brandon, thank you for the compliment there to As a True. But let's take a look at this. I'm going to move this to the theater mode. I turned the closed captioning on. We'll see how well closed captioning picks up on As a True's accent. But he talks about the news. He's sharing details of the next update for the game. Might be tough for you guys to see that. To me, it looks like it's like kind of gray font over top. The short of it is the developers at Ubisoft are saying that they're listening to player feedback. Some of the issues that players have encountered, they're going to address in releases. They said they posted on social media channels, says it would take time to thank everyone. It doesn't go unnoticed. You're sure that the team is still working to improve the experience. So the rest of the video details all of the changes that Ubisoft are working on, the things that they've heard, and what they expect to release. So just know that customers are being heard. So that's a good thing that for Ubisoft, as we just talked about. Right? The customers are being heard, and they're continuing to work on the game. Not only bug fixes, but also improving the player experience. So there's a couple of places where they're like, okay, the player experience is not as awesome as we want it to be. So we're going to improve the player experience in this level, in this situation. If they continue to do that throughout the game, they'll continue to deal with that. So good news on the Outlaws front. It is still front and center of the culture war stuff. It's still not performing where Ubisoft maybe wanted it to. Yeah, Yachty, by the time I play the game, it will be fantastic. Right. And I've heard a lot of people say, just wait until it goes on sale. There'll be holiday sales as we get up into Thanksgiving, Christmas, end of November throughout December. There's going to be end of year sales, and you can get the game much, much cheaper. In the interim, I've heard people say, go ahead and subscribe to Ubisoft's. Oh, no. Oh, no. You know, it's football season. And Star Wars Dog, we can be friends like most of the year. Star Wars Dog and I, we can be very close friends. We can disagree on things. We can have, spirited fan debates. But there's a certain point in the year where it's like, no, we can't be friends. Not this week. Not Georgia. He's a big supporter of that team down south in Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs. I'm a big fan of this team up here, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and we may be on a collision course this year in college football, and we'll see how this season plays out. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's there's a couple other stories, right? Yeah, Santa will be kept busy delivering Outlaws on Christmas Day. Yeah, red versus red. That's exactly it. Scarlet versus red. We say we're scarlet and gray here in Ohio, right? The Buckeyes are scarlet and gray. So scarlet versus red. The superior team, Ohio State Buckeyes, with the best college football player to ever play the sport, Archie Griffin, who we just made a statue for. He's got a statue in Ohio and one out in California. The most iconic college football player of all time. See what I'm saying? I've got to get Star Wars Dog on sometime, and we'll have to do Dog. What we'll have to do, we'd have to do a Patreon exclusive where we talk about college football, and then people who want to hear that, they can go over there and listen to it. Today we're talking about Star Wars. We're gonna shift now to the Skeleton Crew. There's updates on the Skeleton Crew, and it comes in the form of some Black Series releases they have here. Um, I see you, dog. We got to stay on Star Wars. We got to stay on Star Wars. Black Series release. There's this figure here released from the Skeleton Crew, and the packaging for Fern has a little detail in it. Some of this we've already heard. Some of it's worded slightly differently than we've heard before. So I want to read this and then cover a couple other things here as it goes with these Black Series figures. So this is Fern. It says, when 4 kids make a mysterious discovery on their seemingly safe home planet. This is, for lack of a better term, and I know it already has a name, but we'll call it Suburbia Planet, right? The suburb planet. You see them walking their dogs, the Ithorians walking his dog out there, and they're walking about, they're doing their thing. And these kids who live in Suburbia, the Suburbia Planet, they're seemingly safe home planet, get lost in a strange, dangerous galaxy. Oh, what do you mean by a strange, dangerous galaxy? Right? That's which galaxy? Are they just talking about the outer rim? You know, you get out there around Tatooine, it could be a strange, dangerous place. If you're from Suburbia and you find yourself on Tatooine, you might be a little lost. Or maybe you find yourself out there in oh shoot, I just had it and lost it. In Mandalorian, the planet where Grief Karga is in the client, where I think it starts with a Y. My brain just dropped it. I had it, but you guys know if you're Navarro, that's it. Chillmonger, not a Y at all. I wasn't even close. Oh, Navarro. Yeah, maybe they find themselves, near Navarro. That could be a strange and dangerous galaxy. Or are they find themselves all the way over in Peridia? That would be something. Although it raises the question, how would they get that far away? All right. How would they get all the way from Suburbia Planet, relatively safe planet here in the Star Wars galaxy that we know, all the way over to Peridia? They had to use those great big hyperspace engine that they took, that Morgan Elsbeth built, and they took to Thrawn, right? And Thrawn brought back the Star Destroyer with it because the Star Destroyer couldn't do it. Yeah, Yavin's nearby, right? So there's a lot of that content. How would they get there? We know Ahsoka got there inside one of the space whales. So do the kids take this ship that they find that's got skeletons in it? And this is from Jason Ward, reported this a long time ago, right? There's a ship, they find it in the woods. It's been there for a long time. They crawl inside and find these skeletons in there, manage to power it up and get themselves lost. Could it be a wormhole of some sort? Daniel Fisher asks. Could be. We've not seen a wormhole like that in Star Wars. Not saying it couldn't exist. It'd be different. It'd be new. So it just raises that question. What's the dangerous galaxy? Is it, Navarro dangerous? Is it, Outer Rim dangerous, where you've got pirates running amok? And, we saw the pirates near Navarro, Tatooine, all of that. Oh, could be something like that. So it says, strange and dangerous galaxy, and finding their way home will be a greater adventure than they ever imagined. So let's that alone sounds fun to me. I'm in for it. I know some folks have already started to say, I don't want to see kids in Star Wars. I want the Skywalker saga. If it's not Skywalkers, it ain't for me. Some people, that's how they feel about their Star Wars. Star Wars is synonymous with the Skywalker saga. End point, done, right? For others of us, we enjoy exploring the galaxy beyond the Skywalker saga, the timeline beyond the Skywalker saga, and seeing what else this fantastic universe has to offer. But so there's that. Then we have this guy. Look here, Neil. This is Neil. He is not the same species as Max Rebo. Star Wars Meg did a really good video on this. There are other elephant-like species throughout the galaxy. This is a different species, not a Max Rebo species. And you see it says Neil, and then right beside it says Aten. These are typically like a location. You'll see Mandalorian, Navarro, Mandalorian, different planets, right? They'll put that on the packaging. Let me see. I've got some here. Let me see. Yeah. Mines of Mandalore. Mandalorian. Mines of Mandalore. All right, we've got that one. We've got another Mandalorian in here. Well, here's another Death Watch Mandalorian. Like, they'll put where they're from. In this case, they are on. This is the name of their school. That Aten. This is the name of the school. So this is Neil in his school wardrobe, right? He's got a little flashlight in his pack. Got a little binocs there. Looks like a walkie-talkie kind of thing. There's the backpack right there. So this is the Aten is the school he goes to. That's good fun. Oh, there we go. So Skeleton Crew coming up soon. We're getting more and more information on it as it goes. You know what else is coming up soon? The Lego Special. Lego Special is mere days away. We are now very, very close to the release of the Lego Special, where everything gets turned topsy-turvy. I'm excited for that. We talk about animation and the future of animation on Disney Plus. We have a lot to be excited about. Not only the Lego Special, not only this animated series that I'm aware of that they have not announced. They could announce it today, my friends. They could announce it any day, and they could release it anytime. There's that one. We're looking for something on maybe a Visions season 3. What's going on with Tales of? You know, what Tales of is coming next? We've not seen anything. So we would expect that some of those. Plus, a lot of us are expecting to see something that's going to fill the shoes of, say, a Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, where it's a series, a full-blown animated series that would cover maybe at least 12, 14, maybe 20 some episodes. So we're looking for something along that as well. We're looking for animation to be announced between now and we'll say Andor season 2. I would expect not only will we get the Lego Special, I would hazard a guess that by the time Andor season 2 is released, we will have had another animated series. So lastly, before I just go to your chats, lastly, I've got 2 other things that have me very, very excited. Here we have, I got this email today. It says, new estimated delivery date, Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. This vintage collection, Blurrgs. Blurrg and Mando. Getting 3 of those next week. Oh, Tuesday's going to be an early present for Santa, September 10th. Not only do I have these Blurrgs coming, but I got to notice that Hasbro has charged me. It's in the mail. They said it has left the building. Items in this shipment, we have Sabine, Wren, and Chopper. There's 2 of these. So I ordered 2 of these. You know, I backed 2 of the ghosts. One was maybe if the ghost and these characters appear in The Mandalorian. And as it goes with HasLab projects, if you miss the boat, you miss the boat. And you know, I don't have Jabba's sail barge because I missed the boat. I bought 3 of the Razor Crests. I still have 2. Got one to X-Wing, my friend X-Wing. I got one here on my desk, and I've got another one to sell. So I ordered 2 of the ghosts. So I got 2 of these figures, one to keep if they show up in The Mandalorian. If they don't show up in The Mandalorian, they don't pull these characters in, then I will have 2 of them that will go on the market. So we'll do that. So there's all of that. So you guys, I'm excited. We've got some stuff coming from Hasbro. Hasbro also has a PulseCon coming up later this month. I'll be looking forward to that as well. All right. That's the news. That's the news of the week. And Anthony, hello. It has been a very long time since seeing you. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for saying hi. It's good to see you as well. So we can interact with your chat. If there's a topic that you want to bring up, let me know. Otherwise, there's some publishing. We just had a High Republic novel released last week. We've got another one coming up, and I see where there's some early reviews of the next book already coming online. If you're following the High Republic novels, then it's a pretty good time there too. We've got another wave of the third. What are they? They put it 2 ways. Release, right? So they had the first stage that was in the middle, second stage, which would happen like 100 years before, and now the third stage that are coming in right now. All right. Anthony, who, in your honest opinion, does the best articulated figures that are the most accurate for Star Wars? Because I'm thinking about buying action figures. Well, Anthony, how much do you want to spend? Oh boy, you really have like 3 options. The primary option would be Hasbro. And there's 2 lines there. There's the vintage collection figures, which I think is the superior line. They're smaller figures, but you have more ships and things that go along with them. So I would say vintage collection, and that's what I get. So it's Hasbro vintage collection. They look like these, right? They're this size, right? They're that size, 3 3/4 inch, right? Then second, oh, you know what? I think I got one of these guys. Hold on. Let me dig around here. Dig. Where is it? Where is it? Just a second. Looking. There he is. Found it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Perfect. Vintage collection. Look there. There's George Lucas in a Stormtrooper. George Lucas in Stormtrooper disguise right there. That's a vintage collection, right? So this is vintage collection size there. Then there's Black Series. Black Series are 6-inch figures. The articulation on them is quite strong as well, but you're more limited in other things like speeder bikes, other things you can get for them. But they're really good for photography, like Yachty uses. Yachty does photography. She uses Black Series figures for it. A lot of people use vintage collection for figures, but this is Black Series. So if we look at Black Series and you look at vintage collection, look at that. See there? That's the difference. Black Series, vintage collection. So these will run you somewhere just a regular vintage collection, they're going to run you somewhere around 15 to 20, 25 bucks on the high end. These start around 20 to 30, $35 on the high end. All right. So that's the first choice. Second choice, there's a group in Japan that make like 6-inch figures, but they're $100 a pop. They're $100 a pop. They're really, really. Oh, look here. Yes, 3 3/4 heritage scale. Yeah. So there's a group in Japan releasing 6-inch figures that are extremely well detailed, extremely well articulated, and I would say if you want the best detail, the best articulation in like a 6-inch scale figure, and the name is escaping right now. I would go check those out. That name may come to me. Figure Arts, that's it. Seth Nico put it there, right? SH Figure Arts. SH Figure Arts, right? Those are amazing, but they're $100 each, right? Now, if you want to go even bigger, you go to the Hot Toys. And Hot Toys make the best figures across the board, bar none. But they're bigger scale. And they are amazing. Articulation, detail, fabrics, everything. They've got interchangeable parts, and they've got everything that you would want. But those are going to cost you in excess of $100 each. Now, for somebody who just wants to collect, say, one figure like me, I collect Rey figures. Those are good. Anthony says, I'm looking to spend between $350 and $550. Are there any action figures that are that expensive, and who does those high end? That would be Hot Toys. Those are Hot Toys. And I've got my Rey Hot Toy figure right back there on the shelf. Bear with me. I'll bring her down here so you can see. Hold on. Let's come on out, Rey. You haven't been out in public for a while. Let's get you up out of there. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. Oops. I dropped something on the floor here. Just a second. Oh. Lost the antenna off of Dio. So this is just like Dio that comes with the hot figure, and he lost the antenna. He's got another antenna too. So that's Dio. But look here. This is the Rey figure. And it'll run close to $300, $250, $300. So this is the Rey figure. You can see like the articulation is wrapped in a material so you can't see the joints. And here she comes with a stand. She also has a helmet you can put on. This is Rise of Skywalker. So the helmet is an accessory. And look, this helmet opens up. Right. So the helmet opens up. The level of detail and precision here is amazing. They're very, very high quality. And like here, I've got just the lightsaber hilt. These are amazing. They're fantastic. Best quality you're going to find. And like here, look, we've even got the Leia saber. This is the Leia saber that's with it. And then if you note on this stand that comes with it, there's a place where Dio, because he's a ball, there's a magnet over here. And if you set it there, Dio will stand right there on the plate, right? So this is the hot toy right there. This is what I would say. And they have a number of figures you can get. And with her also come a number of different hand replacements. You can change out the hands so that she can be holding a lightsaber or not. It's got the other lightsaber up there too. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah. Here we go. Right. So look here. It's got her staff. Her staff's there. And it's also got the saber you see at the very end, right? And not only that, but there's a little end piece you can put on here so that you can remove the lightsaber, change the end piece, and have it off. Or you can put this on and put the lightsaber in there and have it on. Amazing. Amazing. So there you go. There you go. There's that. It says, is the Heritage Collection for Hasbro for Star Wars the equivalent to Marvel Legends? If you're going to get too deep in the weeds, then I would have to get my friend Bosk's Bounty, get Tim to come on here to answer questions. Vintage Collection, just in general, are those 3 3/4 inch, right? So like these, this is what he was noting. This is Saga Collection. You see it says right on it, Saga Collection, but it's in the same sort of scale. It's like slightly smaller even. You can see the Mando, right? Slightly smaller than Mando in that Saga Collection. But the Vintage Collection, most of them are going to look like this. They say Vintage Collection right on the back. And they've got these release numbers on them, VC. You see this is VC 313. This is VC 312. And you can collect entire, like you can go crazy with these. you can get so many. Like I've got this Black Series Boba Fett. And what Yachty was saying, the detail on Black Series many people think is superior. I think Vintage Collections closed that gap. I would argue that Vintage Collection in many ways are superior to Black Series. But Yachty and I can fight about that the next time. If there's a Black Series, like for me, the best purpose for Black Series is to get the silly ones. Right. So there you go. And look, I've got a whole collection here of loose figures that I got at a store. All right. You can find these things. So there you go. Yeah. All right. Oh, all right. There you go. And Tim, oh my goodness, Boss Bounty made it into the chat. So excited to see you, my friend. And Tim, I want to know one thing. If you're still listening, how many blurgs did you order? I need to know. How many blurgs did Bosk Bounty order? Tell me it was more than one, Tim, or we're gonna have words. It better be more than one. That's all I got to say, Tim. If not, you need to go online right now and order another one. Like I can't have you just ordering one. That's unacceptable. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Looking to see if Tim's still listening. Are you there, Tim? All right. Let's see. Nick, during the Bad Batch run, I was convinced Omega would wear her brother's white prototype armor just like I was too, Nick. And now it looks like that's maybe not in her future. She looks like she's joining as a pilot for the Rebellion. So I do think we will see her again, but probably not. What are you expecting for new Jedi Order trilogy and TV shows? Well, that's a good question. And I'm watching for Boss Bounty in the chat, see if he comes back. What am I expecting or what I hope for? I hope that we're going to get an announcement very soon in animated content following Return of the Jedi. I am hoping that we get something featuring Han, Luke, and Leia immediately after Return of the Jedi or sometime in that time period. I would love to see an extended series similar to the Clone Wars animated series that covers the entire time period between Return of the Jedi and Mandalorian season 1. There's a good 5 years or more in that time period. It would cover the Battle of Jakku, which is being released in comic books very, very soon. And it would cover that era where Luke is beginning his Jedi Academy. We see him in Mandalorian season 2, and then in Book of Boba Fett there as well. The new Jedi Order with Rey. Looking for an announcement on that in Star Wars Celebration next spring, and look for an update about when that movie is going to start filming. I think it's coming along. Then as far as like TV shows in that era, I would hold off. I don't know that we'll see anything, at least not right away in that era for the new Jedi Order. New Jedi Order with Rey. I expect that to be after we'll get an announcement at Celebration. Yachty. Now, if they do a Ventress version of the Bad Batch season 3, I might indulge. There's supposed to be something coming up with Ventress, but we don't know what. Oh, you guys are pushing the envelope. You're pushing the envelope because there's T that I know, and T that I can talk about, T that I cannot. And I would say that we know for sure. Well, Star Wars Meg did an interview with a lady that voices Ventress, and she indicated that she was working on something, but they didn't tell what. And Meg asked some questions that she wouldn't answer. So you can make some extrapolations, like, does her not answering mean no, or does it mean yes? So based on that, we're expecting Ventress to be involved in something. Will it be like a Bad Batch series set, after the end of the Bad Batch, but before A New Hope? And will Ventress be, included? Or will we get a Tales of series, right? We had Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire. Will we get a Tales of something else that Ventress, like Tales of the Night Sisters, something like that, right? Will we get something of that effect, and then Ventress will be included? Will Quinlan Voss be included? What will happen in there? Yeah, we never did get that droid series that they announced. There's a whole bunch of things like that. So we got to see. She's going to be in something. We expect that time period to be in something, but what will it be? Anthony asks, with a track record of George Lucas constantly readjusting he means canon for Star Wars, can you see possibility of rewriting the backstory for Rey so she is not a legacy character? No. I would say no, we'll not see it where she is like decanonized, or because a lot of her backstory's already been included in other content. But we could see some retconning of it. We've already seen that with other things, but it goes between print and film, TV or movies. So could we see her backstory being tweaked? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I think it'd be fair to say, yeah, we'll see that. But she'll absolutely be included in canon ongoing. Nothing's changing there. Will we see the path in an upcoming project? That's the question, isn't it, Daniel? That's the question. So for those of you who don't know what the path is, if you watched Kenobi, the live action series, there was mention in there, and you kind of got to get into it, but you can see where there's mention of Quinlan Vos and this path. Quinlan Vos is Ventress's boyfriend, right? He's my boyfriend. So Quinlan Vos and Ventress are often very tightly associated. So if there's a series including Ventress after the Bad Batch, we know that she hooks up with Quinlan shortly, and or actually it already happened. Does she reunite with Quinlan after coming back to life, right? Does she reunite with Quinlan after the Bad Batch, or are they separated forevermore? And if Quinlan is part of the path, is Ventress part of the path? The path is where they're sort of like the Underground Railroad here in the United States, following the during the time of slavery, there were slaves that would escape and they would go on what was called the Underground Railroad. In fact, there's some houses nearby me that were part of the Underground Railroad in American history. So, in fact, I've been in one of those houses, did a Bible study in one of them. So, the path is like the Underground Railroad, where they would take Force users and hide them. Right? So Quinlan's involved in that. Is Ventress involved in that? And what's going on with all of that? Could we get that in an upcoming project? We could. Will we? I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. It was part of the book that they decanonized some of it. Yeah, and they made some of it into the animated series. Not only, we have to be careful when we talk about decanonizing. And there's a debate amongst the Star Wars fandom about these things being retconned in one show that were previously established in something else. So the Ahsoka novel, for example. The Ahsoka novel, following Ahsoka after the Clone Wars animated show, has content in it that does not match the content we saw in Clone Wars season 7. Specifically, when her and Maul have their initial meet at the very beginning. So in the book, when she meets Maul, there's a series of events that happen where Maul is captured. In the book, in animated series, season 7, none of that happens that way at all. And that whole interchange is different. Which one is right? What Lucasfilm has been saying is they're all equally right from different perspectives, different points of view. So maybe neither of them are right as far as what actually happened, but it's the story that following the what was that? They go to Mandalore, and Ahsoka confronts Maul. That part happened. Did they confront each other this way or that way? We don't know. From the book, when things happen and when you see it in animation, and then maybe you see it later in a movie, there might be differences between all of those things. Which one is right? Maybe none of them are more right than the other. They're all equally right. That's what Dave Filoni has been saying, is if he is the chief creative officer there, and he says that none of them are more right than the other, then that's what we have to do, right? Hey, hello there, the New Wave Lee. Oh, hello. Yeah, I felt Maul died thinking Luke was the chosen one in Rebels. Yeah. But then George said he was going to make Leia the chosen one. You know? And the chosen one is a prophecy. And when prophecies are interpreted, they can be interpreted in multiple ways. So is it Anakin? Is it Luke? Is it Leia? Is it Rey? Like, who is the chosen one? For me, it is and only is Anakin. Anakin. And that's a further discussion we could get into more, right? If you're a writer or storyteller of Star Wars, how would you write the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn to where it could be the same level of threat, Darth Vader, or more powerful? Thrawn is a different threat than Vader. Wouldn't say more powerful at all. In no way is Thrawn a bigger threat than Vader. In fact, if you go and read the Timothy Zahn novels that are canon, there are 6 novels in that. I would say that Thrawn is not even a villain. Yeah, I would say he's not even a villain. He's more of a good guy. A good guy serving the empire with desire to have a just and fair empire, should he be able to one day lead it. So yeah, Vader was entirely different. That's right. Degree of measure. Yeah. All right, you guys, we have a Mike Porter dad joke. And you guys know, if you put in the chat, exclamation point, chosen pun, it'll give you the web address where you can follow Mike Porter on Twitter. Mike Porter gives us dad jokes. Mike Porter's another Georgia guy. So, you know, take that for whatever it's worth. But Mike Porter dad joke of today, he gave us another Star Wars one. He said, which rebel gives you credits for a job well done? Which rebel gives you credits for a job well done? Well, that'd be Princess Peya. Oh, she pays you. Princess Peya. Very good, Mike Porter. Thank you for that, Mike. Yes, there you go. You put in chosen pun. Streamlabs will tell you that's Mike Porter. So you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. One thing I will say before I go is show some compassion to one another. Understand, there's one thing I was wanting to say, and I was thinking about this as it goes to all of this vitriol and things that's going online. Many of you know I do not like horror movies. I hate them. I won't watch it. Right? I won't watch it. The first Alien movie, for example. This is a great example. First Alien movie. Nope. Don't like it. Haven't watched an Alien movie since. My best friend tells me I should watch Aliens, the second one, because it's not horror. I'm like, I don't believe you. The first one was too much horror for Santa. I don't like it. I don't like the first Alien movie. I will never watch it again. I won't. I don't like it at all. It doesn't fancy me in any way, shape, or form. Is it a bad movie? To me, it's terrible. The worst. Don't like it. Bad. Other people, they love that movie. Absolutely love Alien. Not me. No, thank you. Right? Not for me. But do I get mad that they produced more Alien movies? No. Doesn't bother me at all. Am I going to go watch it? No. People who love Alien, do I want them not to be able to watch more Alien movies because I hate them? No. Uh, you people in your college cults. Guilty. Guilty, Thrawn Kill. No, I don't get mad. And right now, there's a huge fight going on around the Star Wars fandom on the Acolyte. Meg barely talks to me. Meg and I are still friends. I love her dearly, but she barely talks to me anymore because we are not on the same page. Well, I won't say that. She's busy, but we are not on the same page on the Acolyte. It's caused terrible things to happen in this fandom. There are people who don't want other people to get more Acolyte because they hate it that much. And there are other people who love Acolyte so much that they think people who hate it are bad people. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world, my friends. You're allowed to hate something. I hate Alien. I just don't like it. It's not for me. So you know what? I'll never watch it ever again. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad because other people like it. I'll just never, ever watch it again. And for people who hated the Acolyte, easy problem. Easy fix. Never watch it ever again. Problem solved. If you love the Acolyte, it's your favorite thing ever, and you would like to see more of it, then maybe one day you'll be able to do that. But in the interim, read the comic. There's one that just came out, right? There are more coming. There was one about Buryaga that just came out. There's more coming. Not Buryaga. That's a guy from High Republic. There's a different Wookiee, not your Wookiee. So, read the comic. Read the books that are coming out next spring. Enjoy it. Rewatch. Watch it again and again. Have watch parties. Invite your friends over and watch it again. If you love it, then embrace it. If somebody else hates it, they're not a bad person. They're not a bad person for hating the Acolyte. It's nothing like it. Are there bad people who hate the Acolyte? Sure there are. Are there bad people who love the Acolyte? I think so. So why can't we just have some compassion for one another and let live, Kelnaka. That's it, Dale. Skywalker's Academy, right? Yeah, just, don't, where was it? Yeah, as Daniel said, don't yuck others' yum, as I've said before. That's exactly right. It's that easy. It's that easy. Don't yuck somebody else's yum. People can't stand who use their justification for hating Acolytes because there was a lesbian. Well, some people, not all people. I'll give you a great example. Star Wars Meg hated the Acolyte. She is not a fan. It disappointed her in many, many ways. There are parts of it where she's like, well, that was well done. But overall, not a fan. Meg is a lesbian. Her girlfriend had lived together for several years. Meg's not mad about lesbians being in the Acolyte. She just didn't like it. That's fine. Let her live. I love Meg. She's great. So you guys be nice. Be decent people. Have some compassion on your fellow humans, and remember that the other side of the argument, the other side of the keyboard, the screen that you're reading on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you're on, that's a human back there. Somebody who maybe loved the Acolyte. Maybe that was their first introduction to Star Wars, and they don't understand all this nonsense that people just hating them because they loved that. Let them live. Let them live. Right? There, I said it. How about that? You guys, the New Wave Lee. My friend, he was here in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Chillmonger did a great video on this. Just this thing. Like, don't take somebody else's IP and change it to your vision. If you have a different vision, create a new IP. It's that easy too, right? But anyway, you guys, so good to spend the day with you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I can't wait to come back next week with my three. Oh, I got three of them coming, right? I'm gonna have three blurgs here next week. I'm gonna have the three bandos that come with the three blurgs, and I'm also gonna have a couple of vintage collection figures to share. So until then, my friends, you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And this is hold on, let me get here. To me, the Grand Admiral Thrawn is an anti-hero who believes he's doing what's best for the people, and that means killing people he will. Yeah, although, Anthony, he only kills people as a last resort. There are plenty of examples in the novels where he does everything possible to not kill people, to not murder anybody. And even the case in Rebels where you see people killed, that wasn't necessarily his doing either. So he tries to preserve life, save life. He values life and wants to improve conditions for all people. So yeah, so there's that. Anthony, we'll have to a talk about it some other day, but you guys have a wonderful weekend. You guys take care. And until next time, my friends, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And may the force be with you always. Bye-bye.